Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Crafting with Class. Today I have lots of graduation cards to share with you. I don't typically mass produce, but I needed several, so a sheetload of cards to the rescue, and that's what I'm sharing today. A sheetload of cards is created by Call Me Crafty Ali, and so every month she shares a sketch and all the cutting guides that you will need to create a certain amount of cards. And for this one, it's 6, which is exactly what I needed for graduation cards. And so here she gives you the cutting guides of how you need to cut your paper, how much you need. So it makes it really easy. So you need 3 6x6 pattern papers. So I'm using these 3 patterns, and I'm using an old graduation pattern paper pack that I got at Michael's last year. So I won't be using the 2021 graduation ones. You also need 2 sheets of a coordinating cardstock. I'm using gold foil, and then you'll also need 3 sheets of whatever paper you want for your card bases, and I already have card bases already prepared, and so I'll be using these black ones. She gives you a full size look at what the card is going to look like in its correct dimensions, and then she tells you how you're going to cut all the cardstock that you need to create, in this case 6 cards. And as I mentioned, it makes it super easy to mass produce. So let's start cutting. Starting with the first sheet of pattern paper, I'm going to go ahead and cut on all the guidelines that are provided on the sheet so that I can have the pieces that I will mix and match to create all those different looks on the cards. So there they are, and I need to cut this one down a little bit to 5.5. All right, so got those pieces ready, and now you do the same thing 2 more times. Here are the embellishments I'm going to use for my card. So I am using this Scripty Congrats, and this is from Fawn. So I'm using that stamp and the coordinating die. I'm also going to put those on some gold foiled banners. So I used a banner die from my stash. And then for the mortar boards, I used a die from MFT, also from my stash. So now let's put them together. Starting with the gold foil cardstock, I'm going to go ahead and add some tape adhesive to the back. Now you know me, I prefer wet adhesive, but this gold foil cardstock doesn't seem to play nicely with the wet adhesive, so I'm going to use my ATG gun. So I'm placing the pieces just to see and make sure that I have them where I want them and I know how much space to leave, so they all fit nicely on here. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with that side part first, and then I'm going to add the piece at the bottom and then the last one at the top. I'm going to add some tape runner to the back and then place it on the gold foil cardstock to finish that front panel. Now I'm going to take one of the gold banners and one of the sentiments. I'm going to put some glue onto the back of the sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and attach that to towards the top of the card. I know in the sketch it was more towards the bottom, but I kind of wanted it to the top. So I'm going to modify that a little bit. So I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back. I'm going to remove that liner paper, and then I'm going to attach it near where that gap is. So right there, I'm just going to make sure that it is straight. And there it is. Okay, so then I'm going to attach one of the little graduation caps above it. So I'm going to again add some foam tape to that and then pop that right above it. And I think that looks super cool. All right, here are the finished cards. So I did add a sub-sentiment to the bottom of each of them. So this one says, "You did it, hooray." And so each of them have a little bit different sentiment to make them individual, even though they're all mass produced. And then here's the inside, and I use a scrap of pattern paper just to decorate the bottom. So here is the sketch and my take on these cards. And I love card sketches. It makes it so much easier than starting out with nothing. So if you've never used a sketch, definitely give it a try. Highly recommend. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And I'll leave all the info in the description box below. Until next time, bye.